Hi, friends. Welcome back to Pohina Apothecary. I think it's been a long while. I feel like I say that for all of my readings, so hopefully for you, it's not a biggie. This is a very small station right now, so I also want to let you know that what am I looking for? Oh, there's a cat in a box. How cute. Excuse my ADD. Got a cat in the box, guys. That might be significant for somebody. I love cats. So you might have a cat if you're tuning in, or you might be thinking about getting one. Oh, some of you guys are thinking about getting a pet. How cool. Or you might feel like you can't, but you should, in my opinion. Anyway, let's call in some protection in this circle, guides, guardians, ancestors, highest beings, beings of light. May only the best advice be here. You want to do it like that? I don't know if we want to do it like that. May only the best advice come into this space for my collective. Okay. And I don't normally do reversals, guys. However, I just realized somehow this deck got jumbled. So we must be needing that for some reason. Let me check. How's our camera looking? Okay, cool. This is the Monday Tarot. I felt really called to use this today. It's a good one. Being asked to shuffle again. And this is also a general reading for you. And the timeline I'm hearing is actually, I want to say 3 to 4 months for some of you guys. From the time you're seeing this is when it's relevant. Ooh, a lot of reversals. It's annoying. 3 to 4 months. And then some of you guys are going to see the beginnings of whatever this storyline is within the next 3 days. So keep an eye out for that. I would say, in fact, all of you guys who are tuned in here, there is a 3-day like opening of something. I'm hearing like a portal or like a message is going to come through for you. I'm so tempted to right side all of these. Different readers have different philosophies, guys, on this kind of stuff. They say if you get too many upside down, it's an issue. I don't know how my deck got jumbled. I feel like that's kind of significant and interesting. Some of you guys might have people messing with your intuition. Gosh, you know what? I have to start over. Well, let's quickly read this. I'm just gonna read this, guys, and then we're gonna start over. So if you're seeing this, there's a part 2 because I'm just seeing way too many reversals and it's over freaking whelming for me. And I was gonna say sometimes that's like a sign that you need to repull everything. I don't think we're not gonna do that today, but we are gonna dive in more because I feel like this energy is very weird and chaotic. And I just don't know what to do with it, especially what's going on at the heart of the issue. This might be part of that. Let's try to get some clarity on that. Trying to ask how many more. I always do this, guys. Sometimes the more confusing it is, the more I want to pull more cards, which is not always the answer. However, sometimes it is. Okay, we're going to stick with that for now. So right away, guys, I'm getting this sense of a career reading, or for some of you guys, it has to do with your spirituality and your spiritual prowess. Some of you guys might be readers yourselves, and that's why the energy feels like both. You know, if you think about like a priest or Pope Leo, if you're a fan, I love that guy. those are full-time jobs, right? So for some of you folks, there is a mix. I'm hearing of like this girl boss type energy, but there's also this back end where either you are doing spiritual work professionally, or I'm hearing for a lot of you, there is a conflict between your spiritual life and your day to day profession. So that's the heart of the issue that is coming through really strongly. I'm hearing your guides want you to know this. Some of you are not conscious of this. A lot of you guys, it's going to resonate right away. So let's look at the central cards. I'm gonna look at all the reversals and then we're gonna right side them up because I really don't like reading like that. I'm gonna have to redo my deck and kind of cleanse my deck to see what did I do. It's been a while since I've used this deck, so I mean I must have done it, or it was Gremlins. It's always good to learn different styles of reading, guys, and no one way of reading is superior to another. However, if you start reading yourself one day, or if you read now, there will be some ways that are superior for you and how you learn and how you see the fabric of the universe. So we've got the Seven of Swords and we've got Justice. Ooh, wow, that came in strong. So I'm hearing there is bitterness in your career and a need for cord cutting, you guys. Major. I'm hearing strongly there is room for both of us, or there is room for all of us. So some of you folks had a conflict with somebody in your career or in your spiritual community. Again, for some of you, it's both or either or. So this could be a church or it could be a corporation. Either way, it's an organization. I'd love to know in the comments if whenever you see this, if you feel comfortable sharing which it is for you, if it resonates. I'm hearing this conflict had to do with your innocence in the role that you played in this organization or group. Seeing that with the Fool here. And there was a lot of competition. There was a Five of Wands situation where it might have been a bunch of people vying for a position. It's really interesting. I don't normally get this, but I'm hearing strongly something about a church group. So that could be any kind of church, guys, mosque, synagogue. We don't discriminate out here. It could be a coven, could be a Christian church. The one I pictured was in the Christian kind of persuasion, and it's funny. I pictured like a bunch of little old ladies, you know, those like aunties that do like they do all the community work. And so what I'm seeing, and this is just an example, guys, it doesn't have to apply to your case exactly, but think about the energy of like those church aunties, or and I'm hearing Karen too. Like, so please don't, I hope not to offend anybody, but you know, we're just being real that sometimes these energies happen. You know, you want to do good for the Lord, you want to do good for the company, the organization, the charity, and there are people in this that are really vying for power politically. To me, it's kind of hilarious because the work itself is not about that, right? Whether it's a charity, a corporation, or a church, whatever your organization that this happened in, some of you guys aren't in this organization anymore because of what happened. It's not worth squabbling over, and it was petty, is what I'm hearing. What else do we have to talk about? Seven of Swords. You were backstabbed, my friend, or somebody close to you was terribly backstabbed in whatever this was. I'm hearing it was the past. For some of you guys, about 5 months ago. Could be any timeline in the past, though. Some of you guys, someone you really loved was backstabbed, like a sister, I'm hearing. And there's also a man involved. Isn't there always a man? I'm sorry. This energy. Look at this guy here. Like, I don't know how I feel about this king over here. For some of you guys, this was like a boss, pastor, spiritual leader, mentor, but I'm getting like, forgive me, I'm getting like sexy vibes, which is something I kind of get a lot from the Knight level of these cards, where it's a lesser level male energy that is really robust and rambunctious and kind of like in the space. So I'm hearing like youth pastor, if we're going to keep going with the, And if you have religious trauma, or if that's really not your flavor of life, it can be anything, but I'm going to roll with that because actually, for some of you, this really might be something that happened at your place of worship, or your former place of worship. But yeah, I'm hearing like youth pastor or whatever energy that is for you that's similar. Also, car salesman, guys. And I don't mean that literally, I actually mean it like in the cliche way. You know how like people talk crud about lawyers, like, oh yeah, lawyers are evil, lawyers are this. Lawyers are not that. Lawyers are really fascinating, they're very intelligent. But same thing with car salesmen. There are good car salesmen out there, and then there are car salesmen like the dad in Matilda. That's not this guy's energy. This one's a lot more slick. And I'm hearing yeah, like car salesman, or like mega church, wannabe mega church youth pastor. This I'm hearing for some of you guys, this guy's like a scum. Not everyone thinks that. You might not. This might be offensive to you. And I'm sorry if it is, but somebody thinks this person was scum because they're really coming out strong as like part of the reason for this squabbling. I know that sounds kind of funny, but that's what I'm getting. Like, this was the guy in charge of the women's knitting, after school program group or whatever. And some kind of competition got leveraged, and it's really feeding this guy's ego, or at least it did. I'm being asked to look at this King of Pentacles, which is masculine energy in the suit of financial and kind of commerce prowess. And for some of you, this is the father of this individual, or this individual has matured a lot since this has happened, and this is who they've become. Somebody that is very confident, very sure of themselves, stands on their own 2 feet, minds their business, minds their money, grows their money, hearing dignified. For some of you, this was a love interest. And I'm hearing they're not shady anymore. It's such a weird thing to say, but like, I'm sorry, I'm cracking myself up. But like, this person, if they are a love interest, and they won't be for everybody, they might be a father figure for some, but something about their relationship, this might have been someone who stepped in to try to raise the maturity level of what was happening here. But I'm hearing they're still not for you guys. So whether this is like a spiritual leader, a romantic partner, a business partner, somebody that's offering you something, whatever it is they have in this role for you, or for the collective, for this group, they still can't see the beyond the veil of what happened with you, or they don't care. More importantly, this person has kind of a big ego. I'm going to put that down. I don't want to talk bad about this guy that much. They're not bad. Again, they're just not for you, and they're not going to understand whatever the hell this was. And whatever this was, something's coming. And justice was here in the reverse too. What I'm feeling, and what I heard when these two needed to flip over, I got very uncomfortable, is how do I phrase this in a way where you can hear? Please don't be defensive when I say this, because I'm kind of a harsh tarot reader. I'll give you the advice for you to elevate yourself, change your future, because we can't really control other people. And so it's not like you're the bad guy in this story. It's just like, for my listeners, I will give you advice for yourself more than I will let you know that everybody else around you sucks. A lot of tarot readers, they'll do, I get addicted to these readings too, guys, where they're like, you're the chosen one and everybody screwed you over and you're perfect and they're evil and you're gonna get your revenge. And this is actually the opposite of that. This message is that if you have it in your heart, which a lot of us do, there's no shame in it. If you have revenge thoughts, or I'm hearing just bitterness, it doesn't have to be vengeful, it could just be a little bitter. If you still have this about these people, you need to let it go, because justice for you and for them is delayed, obstructed. I'm hearing the justice you wanted for them is not going to come, because they were never really fully your enemy. And I know that's really hard to hear. Maybe for some of you that'll be healing and affirming, because maybe you didn't want to feel like they had it out for you or there was an issue. With this Five of Wands and this younger male energy, this emotional energy, and the Fool here, the Seven of Swords, I just think, sometimes groups just make mistakes, and that's not an excuse. And that doesn't mean you ever have to take them back, my love, or be their friend again, or join their church again, or join their MLM or whatever they're up to. You don't have to be part of it, but you don't have to expect the worst for these people either, in light of what they deserve based on the bad energy with you. Does that make sense? And in that forgiveness, I know this is kind of cliche. Like, some people were like, yeah, hex them, get them. I do readings like that too. Sometimes I see stuff where I'm just like, ooh, buddy, like somebody messed you up and they're going to get messed up. But what I'm seeing here is kind of like a stuck energy. Like, if you don't let it go, that justice you're wishing for them, it's not like you're going to get hurt from it. It is kind of like a return to sender energy, though, where it's just like, ultimately, we're all on the same team. We all pray to the same God. We want the same goals. We have the same values. Whatever it is that didn't let you connect with this group of these people, it is not, it might have been personal, but it is not an affront to the whole mission, right? If you pray to Jesus, or if you pray to Allah or Muhammad or the Buddha, and your group, you're all one in that. If you are part of a political group and everyone believes in like a certain type of, revolution or progress, you guys all still believe in the same thing, even if you're not meant to work together. Okay. And that's kind of, ooh, I'm getting like emotional. It's like, you have to believe in good for these people, even if they seemed like your enemies in the past. Because God, or whatever the message here, whatever's coming in through me to tell you, is that they're not really your enemies. They're just sort of like, just like you. Like they wanted the same things you wanted in ways that weren't necessarily that pure. And I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just kind of like, I had a similar experience in the nonprofit sector when I worked there, where everybody's a do-gooder, right? That's why church came up so heavily. It's like, everybody here is doing good. Everybody here cares. But some people, they want to be like the pet. They want to be the pet of this guy. They want to be his favorite. Some people want to be the commander, or the one in charge, or the one that everybody goes to. And even volunteers, even people who are like lower level on the organizational rank, in fact, especially people who are lower level guys, including ourselves at some points in our history, we're going to vie for influence. I want to say power, but a lot of times people have a negative connotation with power. And in this case, yeah, it was kind of negative. It's kind of petty, because it doesn't matter who has what title, right, guys? It doesn't even always matter who gets credit for the work. I don't always say stuff like this. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you deserve like a comeuppance for something. This, I'm hearing, it's stuck with you. You have to stop it. And there's also the Ten of Pentacles coming up in the reverse, and the Nine of Wands. I'm just going to write these so we can talk about it. But like, it's hurting your money, I'm hearing. In a weird, funny way. It's whatever this eha I'm hearing in Hawaiian. Eha is hurt. Eha. Whatever this was, you have to kind of just like let it go to get your money back up too. Nine of Wands is also about, this one's hard with this deck for me, but the upper suits of the wands are always about, and wands in general are about your manifest destiny, about your willpower. So you're really getting closer to that 10 of completion if you can fix this energy. It doesn't take much. I would recommend like meditations on forgiveness. I would recommend cord cutting practices. You can do a cord cutting without thinking of it like a spiritual tiara. You know what I mean? Like, a cord cutting doesn't have to be, oh, they're abusive and this and that. A cord cutting can just be, I'm moving on from this type of culture in my life. I used to go to churches that felt like this, but now I'm looking for a congregation that has this kind of energy instead. That does not mean that my last petty church that I didn't get along with people in is the devil, right? They just weren't for me. They were the Karen, a much lesser demon than the devil, right? One that lives within us all potentially. So what else we got? The Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune came right side up, so that's good. That's good. I feel like with all of this, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna say it's easy to flip this out, but it is easy. It is, because it's like it's just an attitude shift. Your success is not their downfall, right? And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you get to your own wealth, your own success. Like, it's kind of like I've done this before, but it's like, have you ever been like rejected by somebody, or somebody said something mean, or you could tell they were judging you, and you think, oh, just wait till I get to where I'm going, and I'm gonna rub it in their face. I'm gonna be successful, and it's gonna be like, bam, in your face. Ooh. And as I'm saying that, this same individual or this family is coming up again. This person, this masculine energy, might be a pair, like a father son pair, or somebody in their linear timeline of their life development, a generational thing potentially in terms of enlightenment and development. They love that about you. I'm because the cards started glittering when I said that, like that vengeful, I'm gonna thrive in spite. Like, something about this person, they really like get off on that. It's weird. It's like this person believes in healthy competition, but it's exploitative. Okay. I had a boss like this where like they liked it when there was work drama because they felt like it made people work harder. They were really mean, right? And they meant it kind of in a cheeky way where they were always giggling about it. But at the end of the day, I mean, people cried a lot there. people people cried a lot, and like I said, this person doesn't really care. They don't have energy. I'm not saying these cards always mean that either, right, guys? I'm an intuitive reader, so I'm just saying who this is in this context, in this story. Let's make sure we're good on battery. Is we good? Oh yeah, but you guys can't see all the cards. How we doing here? Let me scoot some guys back. All right, so the sun, do we want to talk about that? Let's talk about your energy as we sit here today. I'm being asked to pull, should we pull some more, or talk about cards that are orange? That's so funny. This deck is really colorful. Every orange card here, I'm hearing not every, but a lot of them, we're going to talk about the energy that represents your life force for a little bit and what you're dealing with now. We've got the sun, which I'm hearing is kind of what you're embodying today. Same with this 10 of Pentacles. I think you may have prayed for release. Like, what can I do to improve my career? What can I do to improve my spiritual life, my background, or whatever, my path, my ability to work with other people? You might have prayed for that. And in some ways, what I'm telling you today might be a bit of an answer to that, of like what you got to do with your spirit to get that bliss, to get that money up, to get the self-empowerment. I'm also hearing when this was happening, you kind of acted the fool, which in the tarot is not foolish. It's just sort of like going with the flow, being part of it all. And the fool is a good energy. It's really playful and kind of like safe in adventuring and innocent. And as you can see, this person's kind of about to fall off a cliff. It's kind of like not knowing cliffs exist, so you're free running, right? The spirit is asking you to return to this energy when it comes to your career or your gift to society. For some of you guys, you might be like this again, this could be a church group or a volunteer project, and you might be retired. So it doesn't matter whether you're getting paid or not for this work, but you're asked to be okay with like having beginner's mind in it. Don't let this baggage of this bad situation color how you think all organizations are going to be, and you will get out faster. I'm hearing Chinese finger trap. I think about Chinese finger traps a lot as far as like paradoxes go, where the more you let go, the more you trust, the more you forgive, the more you assume good intentions, the more you assume light and bright and good on your path, and also assume good things for the people that you used to be connected to that you're not connected to anymore, the better off things will become. Okay, I almost want to end it there, but let's just quick talk about any cards that we didn't talk about. Four of Wands, again, we're talking about clutching onto things that we have to keep us secure. And in this state, I'm hearing this has a lot to do with your consciousness, my dear. You might be acting very protective over your career, your kids. I'm hearing your kuleana, your responsibilities in life. You might feel like you don't really want to give anything up that makes you feel powerful or empowered or influential. But again, some of this is coming from this past experience. Three of Swords, again, coming up. A heartbreak, right? Betrayal. Same with the Five of Swords. Swords are a pretty heavy thing. And we also have Ace of Swords here too, which is a reminder that the swords are not negative necessarily. They can be harsh. But you do have this opportunity to kind of like cut away anything that is not serving you, cut through any past conflicts, and really strike to the heart of the matter. This person is watching you, man. This person, some of you, not all, like a minority, some of you guys might still want to work with them down the line when both of you have healed a lot more. And I'm hearing, like, I know that sounds a little bit romantic. For some of you, that's purely like platonic work related, like healing poverty consciousness, healing control issues, healing the ego, healing interpersonal communication styles. We've got the Ace of Cups, which is indicative of a future that is really overflowing with a lot of emotion, as well as acknowledging that there was a lot of emotion here. Some of you guys, when you entered into contract with this group or this collective of people, you might have felt a lot of strong emotions. Some of you, it was because you really, really cared about what you guys were working on. And that also goes for them too. Remember when I was saying your success is not predicated on their failure, nor is it vice versa. A lot of you guys care about the same things and you want success in the world in these same areas. And that's part of the lesson, is to just sort of see yourself in your former enemies so you can reclassify them as not that. We also have the Queen of Pentacles. This is like supposed to be you or a new boss or a new mother figure. I'm hearing there's a divine feminine energy that's coming in, or that you will be cultivating within yourself to rise to this occasion, as well as the Empress. It's so funny. I always get these like cards where like, this guy's a boss. I can't tell if it's your boss, a business opportunity, or a lover. That's the same I'm hearing in the story. For some of you, maybe it's multiple masculines that are embodying this energy in different contexts of your life. But I'm hearing there's a bit of like a sexy, I'm hearing like power couple thing happening with this energy with the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress. So if you are in particular a feminine looking for love, or even if you're a masculine looking for love, consider the energy of the Queen of Pentacles, consider the energy of the Empress, possibly the Emperor, even though it's not on the deck right, or on the board right here, and the King of Pentacles. Some of you might be looking for an archetype similar to this. Some of you might be looking for an archetype that kind of balances these two feminine energies. So the Empress is really like the queen of the deck. She is above all the queens in a sense, in terms of her power. There's a lot of fertility in this card, in this particular deck. So I'm just hearing, fertility, sexuality, virileness, a lot of wealth. Like there's a lot of wealth in this partnership. It's pretty interesting. I'm hearing like fancy dates maybe for some of you. For some of you guys, this is also a spiritual thing where you might be in a very dignified place in your life when you encounter this person. If you look at both of these cards, these feel like very powerful, dignified, almost spiritually exalted energies. She's kind of like levitating with a halo over her. So even though this is typically a card about money and material prowess and success, I'm getting the sense of embodying a sense of spiritual enlightenment, balance, empowerment is what's going to attract this couple together potentially. I'm also hearing a slight warning of third party because it's 3 cards I'm looking at. So there might be a little bit of competition as well between 2 feminines and a masculine, and 2 feminines that embody this. If you're a masculine listening to this, you might have a choice between 2 feminines that have that energy. And I would recommend the Empress a little bit, leaning into that sense of supreme power. And if you were a feminine listening to this, embodying both, I would consider the Empress as sort of an unbothered, kind of like above the sky kind of energy. Be unruffled, unbothered, unattached. I think under the heteropatriarchy, I talk about that a little bit. And this deck is always really like interesting gender energy. It's kind of nice for women, I think, to be a little bit not hard to get, but like focused on ourselves, or female presenting people, or people who are working with their anima energy, working with their feminine energy, regardless of your physiology. We want to focus on being the main character in a way, in order to disrupt any patriarchal norms that are out of balance at this time. So that's why I recommend, if you are courting somebody in this energy, be very hyper independent, be sort of above that, because if you embody this Empress energy, this person will have to rise to the occasion of embodying Emperor energy, which is a higher level of power and influence, if you're interested in that. That might not be for everybody, and for some of you guys, some of you I'm hearing have different associations with the Emperor and the Empress. You may want to look into or consider with this advice. 8 of Swords, yeah, we've got some pain, but it's in the reverse. Nightmares, dreams, conflict. You're really moving through this, though. Like, I'm hearing this really might have given you a lot of nightmares. It might have been a real problem. Some of you are still stuck there, but listening to this today will help you break free from this mental trap. Hearing handicap, interesting. It's kind of like a handicap to think that you are stuck when you're not. 4 of Cups. If you see in this deck, it's a very peaceful, balanced energy with your emotions. And finally, we have the Ace of Wands and the 9 of Cups. The Ace of Wands came up in reverse. So again, along with this theme, you're really looking at reclaiming your power. We've got a lot of aces, actually, 3 out of 4 here on the table. Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands. We're missing the Ace of Pentacles, but we have the 10 of Pentacles. So what that tells me here too is that this is really, really kind of about your money in a way, where this hang up, this thing that we're clearing out, it will fix your money too. It's going to, like, I can predict you're on the precipice of hitting this 10 of Pentacles, but what comes after is an Ace of Pentacles, which is even more abundance, like a new reset on that. It'll come through this Wheel of Fortune and through you just kind of being yourself and embodying the good in life. So let's look at some of these clarifiers I pulled just for the center area. We had the 6 of Wands. This is about fast changes, fast falling in love. So some of you guys might actually be getting a new role, a little bit of an echo of this old one, but it's going to be better and different. If you're job hunting, or if you're looking for new responsibility in your new social arena, I'm hearing you're getting it. You got it, girl. You got it, or boy, whoever's listening to this. We also have the High Priestess. Again, this reading had a lot to do with your spiritual energy, guys. So do keep up with your meditations, keep up with whatever you do that keeps you feeling spiritually grounded and centered, and also realize you are a spiritual authority, especially of your own life. Some of you guys might be getting older and or have had a spiritual awakening recently where you've realized that you are kind of supreme. Don't get a big head, but like, you might have noticed like a psychic ability or an ability to heal. Dreams, I'm hearing some of you guys are talented at dream traveling or constructing dreams, lucid dreaming, premonitions through that. So pay attention to that part of your life, your spiritual intuition and development. And actually, I'm hearing whatever this role is, it's going to amplify that for you. It's kind of a, not a chicken or the egg thing, but like in a good way, where it's like the more you become spiritually grounded and aligned in your spiritual path, the quicker these financial and career and status, social status, work role blessings will come in for you. And I'm hearing it requires like this interesting balance of like stillness within yourself internally and spiritually and mentally, and then like a ton of movement physically is going to be happening, as you can see with her sort of going wee, like falling down. And then finally we have the Ten of Wands. Work, 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 work. You gotta work, girl. You gotta get up and work. I'm just kidding, I hate that quote, if you know where it's from. I'm being a little facetious. You should always rest. Don't get caught up in hustle culture, but you are being told that all of this, all of the what we talked about today, it's work. And for some of you guys, it's going to be like literal manual labor. Some of you guys might be hauling wood and chopping water, or filling out a lot of paperwork, or doing, I don't know, remodeling a house, washing a really gigantic floor, refinishing something. I don't know. There's a lot of, I'm hearing physical labor for some of you guys. Some of you guys might be moving, decluttering, remodel is coming up a couple times, or refreshing, repainting stuff, carrying heavy things. Literally, that's not always what this card means, but that's the case I'm hearing for some of you. And also a lot of paperwork, because we live in the information age. So this work is going to be really pivotal and kind of necessary, and also like, again, like these two cards, a result of, and also an accelerationist. It will accelerate this development in your life. So work hard. If there's things that you need to do in your life, I don't know, taxes you got to file, hopefully you hit that extension. If not, it's okay, things like that. Just make sure that you are making time. This is not like hurt yourself work, right? I'm hearing a lot of this stuff is going to fall into place for you, but if you have a day planner, if you have a calendar, if you got like a little daily checklist, if there are things you need to do that you're procrastinating on, definitely what I like to do is like ask myself, like, how long per day do you want to do this? Do you want to declutter for an hour a day? All right, what hour of the day do you have that you can make time where you schedule it the same every day? That's not going to work for everybody, but for some of you guys, there's like labor that you need to do in tandem with this spiritual process, and scheduling it, being consistent every day. You don't have to rush, I'm hearing, but you do need to be diligent and consistent. And that's with the physical and knowledge work that you're going to be doing. The spiritual work is a whole other thing, with respect to forgiving the people from your past and really owning your spiritual power, owning your power to manifest financial abundance, I'm hearing too, might be significant for some of you in this story. So, yeah, that's what I got for you. Like, share, and subscribe if this helped you out. I don't think this actually needs a part two, but often when we do new readings, they might carry through, or possibly feel that way, depending on what your story is and how you take the message. Not all messages are for everybody. Please remember that. I will never reach out to you or offer readings. You can find them on my website, pohinaapothecary.com. I love you guys. Take good care of yourselves. Take good care of your community. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.